Has it shown up on the feed yet? Let's see if it's here. Hello, Paige. Welcome. Good morning, Mob family. All right. Let's get this show started. Hola, Malcolm. How are you? Dolly, hello. It's been so long. This is episode 58. Mob episode 58. Welcome. Hello, Tamara. Hi in Ohio. How are you? We are live on YouTube. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Good morning and thank you for being here. See, hi from T. Ziller. I like T. You know, we might have to include you in one of the books with that Ziller name, Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Good morning, Wendy. Ah, how could it be fuzzy? It looks fine over here. Let me see. It's fuzzy? Oh, yeah. It looks pixelated. I don't know why. I wanted to tell you. Let's see. We're using all the same tech we use every week. It has to be the feed. Hello, Audrey. Yeah, we're at episode 58, Malcolm. Already. Yup. Don't ask me where the other 57 episodes happened, because I don't know. Francis, good morning. Yeah, I can see it looks a little fuzzy. I'm looking at the feed. I don't know why it's the autofocus. I don't have autofocus on. I don't think so. I'm gonna see if I can work with this. You guys get to see me work with this up close. Ooh, scary face up close. Do I have autofocus? I'm gonna be right back. Let's interrupt the show and I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Live. It's off. We're waiting. No one's here yet. Has it shown up on the feed yet? Let's see if it's here. Hello, Paige. Welcome. Good morning, Mob family. All right. Let's get this show started. Hola, Malcolm. How are you? Dolly, hello. It's been so long. On YouTube. Hello, Annie. Hello, Robert Junker and Robert Walters. Good morning, both of you. All right, YouTube. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Thank you for visiting with us. If you haven't followed us on YouTube, please go to YouTube, look up Bitten Peaches Storyteller. Just like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when we're on, because we're on every 2 weeks. Instagram, I'm at Bitten Peaches. I haven't really put up anything this week because I've been working on TSP and also working on the sepia outline, the infrastructure of B&M, and the outline for sepia demon. So I haven't really been posting on Instagram, so I gotta get back into it. I'll start maybe today. I'll put something on Instagram. ZAZZLE, oh, Dolly's been working on some awesome, guys, you gotta go. Are they out yet, the new things? A couple of things are out yet?
Don't go now.
Huh?
Don't go
Don't go now, Dolly says, but go soon. She's putting stuff up on the ZAZZLE store. Go to the ZAZZLE store, but not now. Okay. We're at M&S. E-M-A-N-D-E-S. M&S on ZAZZLE. We have a few new items. Just gonna add some more. We have a new Patreon? Yeah, we do, right? So we have new patrons. We have Cindy Porter is a new patron and Maureen McCallum. I've just released a new story for the patrons. You won't find that story anywhere else except on Patreon. So if you want to know what that story is, you got to sign up to be a patron. So I think it's what, $1 is the minimum? $1, guys. So it's not a big deal. Go for it. So there's a recent story out for the Patreon patrons. Go get it. All right. Hello, Stacy. Welcome. The newsletter. Every week, every 2 letter. I have a lot. Like there's a big group. It's like over 5,000 on newsletter. So I wanted to kind of build it up a bit more, but I'm gonna start releasing more stuff for the newsletter, just to keep people kind of in the loop of what's happening and what's going on and what's coming up. But I don't want to make it too salesy because then people just say, this is like spam, I'm getting off of this. So I have to kind of find a theme for the newsletter. So I'm working on that. Let's see what else. BookBub, go follow us on BookBub. We have like 299 followers on BookBub. There's over 1,400 people in the mob. There seems to be a little bit of a difference there. So go to BookBub and go follow us. I know it's harder here because we have our regular group now on the Mob TV Cafe Clutch. But I'm gonna start putting it up in the mob so people can join the BookBub also and just grow that number also, make it bigger. And we're on Binge Books, Bibo as we call it. Go join on Binge Books and leave your reviews for everything. So thank you. Go for it. Go for it. Thanks, Robert. I don't know why I'm a beast, but thank you. I'm wearing my bear shirt today. So Dolly started the day saying she's a bear, and I was like, I laughed because this is my Celtic bear shirt. So yeah. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Darren. So if I missed any of you, hold on. Let me get to the feed. Oh, the feed does look much better. Wow. If I missed any of you coming in, welcome. Let's see. Is this today? No, that's not today. Different shirt. So happens when you start getting old. Start blending the days. Not that any of us are old. We're just less young. Good morning, Scarlett. Hello, Mary Beth. I don't see it. It'll be coming up soon. There I go. Here we are. Oh, yeah, it does look much better. Oh, yeah, so I'm growing out the fuzz again. It's my winter face. I don't know how Dolly feels about it, but it's my winter face. Hey, Scarlett. So, good afternoon, Davina. Welcome. Yeah, 50 is middle age now. 50 is you just starting out. It's not old at all. So let's see. Yeah, I know, but then I won't be able to tell what's today's episode because they all look the same when I look at them. I know if I wore like a uniform, like just a Bitten Peaches. I have a bunch of Bitten Peaches shirts, but I like these. These are pretty awesome. So I want to, you can't. Oh no! Welcome, Davina, to the new video that's actually us here. I don't know why I would take you to the other one. RC, welcome. I'm sorry you got hacked, RC, and I made sure not to kind of answer. You wanted me to join your group. Paige wants to know, Dolly, the beard verdict.
It's like an itching post for my face.
Did you hear that? It's an itching post for her face. She's really going hard into the bear thing. Like I use the walls to scratch my back sometimes. It's very much like that. Welcome, Craig El Villano. YouTube is solid, yeah. So I'll grow it out, but when I told her I was gonna grow out the beard, she was like, "You're not gonna let it grow long, are you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just thinking like a light pie may, So, and she gave me a look like, "Yeah, I don't think so." Hello, Heather. Welcome. Let's see. Music around. Oh, I see. I have like 5 Hawk Moons, Heather, all with different roles. And I wrote, my main is a hunter. Even though I play all three, my main is a night stalker. But right now I'm running, what weapon do I run now, Dolly?
Mida multi-tool.
Mida multi-tool.
And the Mida minigun.
And Mida mini-tool. She's good. She's getting her destiny jargon. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's weird that it would do that. Let's see. Are you seeing a Facebook error now, Craig? It's weird. Ooh, RC, you doing a burpee challenge? Ouch. Ouch. Here's what we're gonna do. So I don't have to do it. You can just add my burpees to your burpees. We can call it a day. You hear what Malcolm says? If I grow it too long, you can braid it into two tails. Yeah. I stayed away from trials, Robert, after when they changed trials to that whole capture the flag thing. I'm not a big trials player anyway. I'm more comp. Like right now I'm sitting at 4880 in comp. I'm trying to get to 5500. But I don't really do trials. Trials gets too sweaty. Right? I'm like, ugh. Not yet. Not getting into it. I will try and do the VOG though at some point. Yes, Davina. The burpee challenge is eating a lot of alphabet soup and trying to burp out the alphabet in order or spell words. So yeah. I'm glad it works. It's working now, Craig. Nice. I'm glad you got the Vex, Robert. It's hard to get that thing. My son, the Warrior, has been playing it, and he's been doing it, and he's been completing it. He hasn't got it to drop yet. Trials Lab. Yeah, the Trials Lab was fun. I kind of liked it. I didn't like the fact that it would move from, like after it would move from the center, it would move to different sides. So it would give other teams advantages. But overall, it was fun. But I'm using the Mida, and the Mida's not really a Trials weapon. It's more for comp. Trials is a little too sweaty for the Mida right now. And I'm still getting used to the Mida. So it takes a little practice. Oh, burpee spelling bee. Nice. So how are you guys all doing? No, we're not doing that again, Stacy. We were just touching upon certain things. What did you guys think of Bangers and Mash? Let's discuss books. And now we have Robert here who wants to change his name. So what were your thoughts on B&M? And yes, I still have to do some Bangers and Mash infrastructure. Like I have to create tweets for it. So they repeat, they go out, they have a body of tweets for all the books. And so this is automated and they go out to all my followers on Twitter. So I have to create tweets for it, which won't be hard with Bangers and Mash. There's so much material. And then I have to put it into different areas and reader links, some stuff. So there's still a little bit of infrastructure stuff to do with Bangers and Mash, but it's done in that sense. I got to put it on the newsletter too, things like that. Let's see. So, no spoilers, please, because there may be some people who haven't read it. But we can talk about it without spoiling it for anyone who hasn't read it. Davina is actually tolerant when it comes to. I'm surprised. I thought you'd be lambasting Robert. Well, yeah, Wendy, it's not supposed to be Monty and Strong. It's almost like a parody of Monty and Strong. It's in their world, but it's not meant to be Monty and Strong. It's meant to poke fun at Monty and Strong. So it's kind of like looking at Monty and Simon as, the more serious version of Bangers and Mash, But it was fun to write. It's just that Robert was, oh my God, sometimes he was over the top. Right, yeah, exactly, Scarlett. Like an 18th century snobby noble. That pretty much describes Robert. Oh, yeah. No, because if Davina likes Robert, he can't be the female Jessica. Davina wanted to eviscerate Jessica, like, right away. So, yes, that's true. Yeah, I enjoyed Robert. I enjoyed writing. Dolly really liked Robert, which, it surprised me because I thought across the board Robert wasn't going to be very likable. And it's not so much that he's not likable, it's that he's like Jeanette, so he's kind of oblivious. But Dolly liked Robert, which surprised me. But she made a good point. She's like, I've known Robert longer than most of everyone else because she sees the book as it's happening. So yeah. Yeah, see, Davina, that's a good point. Because you have to understand that, like, the hierarchy that Gray made, or the hierarchy that Gray defined is, Monty and Strong deal with, like, major world problems, right? Gray and the Night Wardens kind of deal with in the trenches and the street. So Gray's kind of taking Bangers and Mash under his wing because he doesn't want them to be a Monty and Strong, but more like, you got to worry about the little people, too. You got to worry about the regular Joe Schmoes, not just dealing with renegade road gods and things like that. So, yeah, exactly, Paige. And all 10 words are like 50-cent words. So, yes. And like you said, Malcolm, there's a lot of room for them to grow, which is good. She doesn't have redeeming features. He does, right? Right, yeah, he was brave to sacrifice himself. And he was, like, there was at one point where he says, when he's dealing with the ogre, and he tells Stephen, you better run now, I'll keep him busy. And Stephen goes, how, by dying slowly? Like, it's that kind of dynamic that they have. Exactly. That was pretty funny, though. It's a mage thing, yeah. And I want to thank you all for taking the chance to read it, because I don't usually write what would be considered straight parody. That's more John or Ben or, you know, those guys. But I wanted to take a chance in writing this one because the characters lent themselves to that. Let's see, Malcolm says, will B&M and Gray merge? No, you're going to get about as much of a merge as you got in B&M, because Gray's world is very different from that. Yeah. So, right, and they're good foils for each other. I mean, I think Frank will deal more with B&M than any other group, except for maybe, let's say, the Brew and Chew crew, and obviously with Gray. But I think Frank will deal, you'll see a lot more Frank with B&M because Frank will keep them from blowing themselves up, basically. Yeah. Because he is a lot of fun. And he also got a chance to shine a bit more in B&M. So, like when he stood up to Dark Gray, that was a great Frank moment, you know? So it's going to be fun. So I'm going to have them do some more cameos and other Monty and Strong, and then I'm going to have them do a longer book, which will be fun. So it'll be a lot more Frank and a lot more Gray. And Coda, although she was mentioned in this one as the lockpick, you notice she didn't really make an appearance, because I didn't want to oversaturate this book with other characters because it's a B&M story. So I really wanted to focus on Bangers and Mash, but I wanted to bring the other characters in to kind of support. There were great support characters in this story. Yes, Paige, Gray was almost friendly, because he's really kind of grumpy most of the time. And if you remember him in Rule the Council, again, he did a cameo. He wasn't as accommodating, I guess I would say. He wasn't as accommodating as he was in this story with Bangers and Mash. He was just kind of the old grumpy guy who was kind of doing this against his will. Yes, Robert, he's stuck. I don't think Frank could ever grow to either human size or dragon size like he wants to be, you know. Scarlett's asking, they will get stronger because of the artifacts? Yes, they will. But, you know, that's going to be fraught with disaster. So they will get stronger. It will take time, but it's not going to happen seamlessly, and it's not going to happen easily. Davina says, oh yeah, I love that bit. Frank being the person Gray can trust to do the necessary but devastating task. Yes, both physically and mentally. Yeah, because like he tells the gods, I don't want to. If you haven't read the book, please let me know you haven't read the book, because I don't want to spoil anything. And see, the BAM is already acting up. When is B&M 2 coming out? Around Stormblood, Stormblood is scheduled for early next year. So around there, you'll get B&M 2. Sepia will be done, and the pentology will be finished. And then I can focus on the next Monty and Strong, the next Night Warden, and in there, I'll also throw in a B&M. So when Frank was talking to the Dark Gray, it was like, yeah, he recognized that he wasn't powerful enough to stop the goddess, but he was willing to do what he's going to do. So yes, Francis, I won't spoil it for you because we don't do spoilers in the coffee clutches where you are here now. We won't spoil it for you, but go read it. You'll have fun. It's not long. When is Nixia? Oh, Nixia's next year, but it's gonna be a full story. It's gonna be the full story of the series. So it's not gonna be called the Nixia White Chronicles. It's gonna be called something like the Darken Stories or the Darken series or something with Darken in it because it's full. It's a full series. Let's see. Would it be cool if Frank could do a Frank XL like Peaches XL? Yeah, not happening. No, I don't think so. We don't want a Frank XL. How scary would that be? Oh, how old is Gray supposed to appear versus say how old? He's much older than Monty. Much older. Yes, and he's not as strong as Dex because I don't think anyone is as strong as Dex in terms of the mages, humans. But he's much stronger than Monty. And the only, like it's alluded to in the books, he's left alone because of his power and also because of the sword that he's bonded to. So when is proper Gray instead of cameo Gray? Proper Gray is also right after the next Monty and Strong. So that's going to be proper Gray. It's going to be the third book in the series. Yes, Mary Beth, right? The knack and the bam rule. Yeah, I have the leader next to me, so I have to be really good with the knack and bam. There's the leader's hand of the knack and the bam. Dan wants to know if Frank's stuck by choice. There must be someone out there that could change him back if he wanted. Someone in the 10. Silk Coalition checking in. It's possible that that the reversal of what he did can't happen. So it's not a matter of choice. I think he's just stuck. Is Gray played by Liam Neeson? That would be good if he could be played by Liam Neeson. I could definitely see a Liam Neeson Gray for sure. Yeah. I have a particular set of skills kind of thing. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Oh, more Michiko. Michiko's not going to get another story for... She's going to be in the next Monty and Strong. She's going to be featured more. But that whole departure with Michiko was kind of like a parenthesis, so you can kind of see what was happening in the Dark Council while she was kind of away. But she's not going to have her own story. I don't see that happening for forever, really. Because she's not that kind of character. That was her own story, giving her those 3 stories. So I don't see Michiko getting her own series. I see more of her appearing in Monty and Strong, for sure. So, am I mirroring S&M? No, S&M is just really too kinky to mirror, Scarlett. If you mean M&S, yes. Have I thought of an animal for them? No. We had a whole poll, and there were some awesome selections, but I can't give Bangers and Mash an animal. It just doesn't feel right, so I don't know. We'll see. It could happen. I didn't think of a Peaches for Monty and Strong when I was writing 2 Yards and Butterflies, and Peaches just kind of appeared on the scene. He was like, I'm here now. So, Roxanne could get a short story for sure, because there's a lot that's going on in Roxanne that directly impacts Monty and Strong. Oh, same thing with Michiko, which is why Michiko got the stories that she got. So I can definitely see a short story for Roxanne, or future stories, or a novella for Roxanne. But she'll be around. She's a catalyst for a lot of what's going to be happening soon. Yeah, Chris, I think that they're I don't want to say clumsy, but they are kind of like that bumbling feeling. Like it would be dangerous for them to have a creature, and then they'd end up with some creature that could probably end the world and not know it, and then they'd be in constant peril. So it's better that they don't have one right now. Maybe when they get a little more powerful and a little bit more self-aware, because they're still kind of clueless, and then maybe a creature will befriend them, kind of looking out for them more than them getting a creature. So it kind of has to happen organically. Yeah, he was in there. He was delivering the pumpkin. And shout out to Carolyn for the name of the pumpkin. Yeah, they are kind of bumbling. And so who did I equate Bangers and Mash with? I'm trying to remember. There was a duo that I equated them with. When I remember, I'll let you know. But they are very much like, yeah.
Wasn't it the guys from Supernatural?
Well, like the ghost faces from Supernatural, right? They're kind of that. But there was another.
Omens.
Huh?
Good Omens.
Good Omens also, yeah. Huh? Pulsifer. Yeah. So Robert is very much like, what is it? Do you remember his full name? Pulsifer. Find his full name. It was Pulsifer something. So Robert is very much like the zeal of the Witchfinders. That's who I kind of modeled Robert after, from Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's Good Omens. And very much Abbott and Costello, for sure. Yeah. No, Malcolm, I'm not going to give him a pet. They're already in constant danger and peril. So, yeah. Newton? Oh, Newton Pulsifer. Yeah, but the old guy, the general.
The general was Sergeant Shadwell.
Sergeant Shadwell from Good Omens. If you haven't read Good Omens, geez, you need to go read Good Omens. But if you haven't read Good Omens, you could go watch the show. It's on Amazon. It's just as, I won't say it's just as good, but it's really true to the book. So go watch it if you haven't. Yeah. So they would be like Frank's pets. Yes, Davina. Yeah. Exactly, Robert. They'd be more like the pet would be looking, I won't say pet, but like the mascot would be looking out for them rather than them looking out for the mascot. Right, Shadwell, exactly, yeah. And the way he would insult his neighbor, but he really liked her anyway. You get away from me, you harlot. And then, oh, but what's for dinner? You know, it's like, so Robert is very much like that. And so Robert's willing to go out and risk his life. Robert's willing to go out and protect my city. Another way he says it. Stephen is very much the foil for Robert's kind of being in the clouds about a lot of things. And so he is kind of more grounded. And so he sees the real danger in things. And Robert, on a certain level, Robert sees the danger, but he also sees that he has a duty as a paranormal investigator of the arcane. So the PITA is very, dedicated to their duty. So that he's willing to sacrifice. I don't know, Stacy. I was trying not to make him British because I really don't want to make him Monty and Strong. I hear the author of Monty and Strong is a bit touchy. But when I write him, he sounds British to me. I don't know what to tell you. His voice sounds British. In my head. Yeah. And the way he speaks and the way he forms certain sentences. Yeah, for sure. And Stephen would be American. So it's very much Monty and Strong in that regard. For sure, yeah. So we'll see. Right, exactly. Right, Stephen would be very much like Newton, for sure. I like that. Malcolm, I don't know what you're talking about. What does he, okay, how does he come across to you? Does he come across to you as he's British? Why don't you guys tell me how he comes across to you? A British Americanized? Possible, yeah. I kind of see him as British, but very old school British, not modern, Well, yeah, Dex is closer to Scottish for sure, and Dolly says he's American. See, so maybe I'll leave that kind of open to let the reader form the opinion they will, without it being locked into one thing. It could be transplanted British too, yeah. Or you could have British upbringing but now be here in the States. So there's a lot of variations. I don't want it to be so similar to Monty and Strong that people just go, oh, this is just the knockoff of Monty and Strong, which of course upper crust New England works too. He could have had a British grandma, and he's American, so that she definitely influenced him in his upbringing, and the way he speaks, and the way he forms sentences and conveys himself. Sure, that's very possible. Hybrid, old world American, definitely a possibility. So he could be whatever you guys want to make him in that regard. We'll leave it open for now. I don't think I'm gonna make him anything definitive yet. Let's see how B&M is received by everyone. Oh, he definitely wants to be Monty, that's for sure. So the comments that he makes, even though they're poking fun at Monty, it's really because he admires Monty and he wants to be like Monty. I'm not giving him a Jersey City accent. No way, Janine. before I do that, I'll give him a Brooklyn accent. Hey, I'm walking over here. Hey, you know? Yeah, we're not doing a Jersey City accent. A more competent Major Frank Burns. Oh, that's true too. Sure, yeah. And I'm sorry, Robert, that his name was Robert. That wasn't deliberate. To all the Roberts in the mob, I apologize. I'm going to leave it open to interpretation, Malcolm. Yeah, I think, here's the thing. And that's another reason why I'm not so heavy on descriptions. I try not to be, at least. Because most readers, when they see a character, when I say see, I'm speaking, you know, figuratively, they form an appearance in their minds, and they form a certain way the person speaks, and so you don't want to take that away from the reader. You want the reader to be able to have that, because that's what makes them own the story more, and it immerses the reader in the story. So you want to leave the reader room to do that. So if you say they're like this and they speak like this, and you're locking too much of the character down. Sometimes you have to do that, but a lot of times it's good to leave it open. Yeah, like Robert's saying, it's don't over-explain it. Just leave it kind of open. Enjoy the character, really. It's like that wonderful, let's touch on that wonderful email, well, kind of blast that I got from the person who, the Harry Dresden super fan. It wasn't an issue of them being a fan. It's good that they're fans, you know? It's that, and a lot of you guys made the point is, Jim Butcher wasn't the one who invented urban fantasy. There's been urban fantasy before, in many ways, and like the example I gave, like if Bram Stoker came up to me and said, "Well, Orlando, you've been using vampires, and I don't remember you consulting with me about this." Okay, I would definitely give it to Bram, because he did kind of create Dracula, right? And every vampire after Dracula has, at some point or another, used that template, right? Because vampires might have existed before that, but Bram kind of really brought it into its specific genre. And urban fantasy started around that time. I mean, urban fantasy is a very, very old genre. It just wasn't called urban fantasy. And if you really want to go back, you have to touch on, you can't discuss that without discussing Edgar Allan Poe. And you can't discuss horror without discussing Edgar Allan Poe. So they're cousins, like urban fantasy and horror are kind of related. And you can find where they come from, like you can find the lineage of these genres of urban fantasy, of horror, where they started and who they started with, Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. So you know where these points are. So when readers get, and this happens, it's normal, when fans get possessive over a character, it's good. The problem comes in when they think that that's the only expression of a genre. That's when things get myopic and it can get dangerous. So this is why I tell writers, and I've always told writers this, you need rhino skin. You need to create rhino skin if you're going to do this, because you will get criticized and you will get insulted, and they will try to hurt your feelings, and they'll tell you your work sucks. I've run the gamut. And if you read some of the reviews, like Ray, the Warrior, was reading some of the reviews, he said, "Hey, you got some really good reviews." And I said, and you got some really, really not so good reviews. It happens. You accept it as par for the course. You have to be okay with that. So if you're writing, you want to be a writer, you get that into your head early, you know? All right, let me see what the feed's saying. I think it may be because I've over-interacted with Americans casually. My former interactions have been with British. So but yes, Davina. When I write, Robert, I hear British speech, but I also can hear American speech too, and then the behavior. So yeah. Yes, Malcolm, I agree. Movies are never quite as good as the books, because you create the story in your head when you read the book, and you're watching one person's idea of what the story should be, the directors or whoever. And so it never really matches up to what you're imagining. So that's just the way it is. Let's see. I read that blast and thought, Kumite. Yeah, Robert. I don't get bent over reviews, because everyone has an opinion and they're entitled to it. Here's my position on releasing a book. Once I put a book out into the world, it's really no longer mine, in the sense of everyone takes it and makes it their own. And so they're entitled to their opinion. For some people, it'll be awesome. For some people, it will stink, and that's okay. That's fine. You know, it's they're entitled to that. Let's see. Davina says Dresden is a wizard and has a staff. So by the gatekeeping fan logic, he's obviously copying Tolkien, right? Because Gandalf has a wizard with a staff, and I mean, even before Tolkien, it had to be some wizard with a staff somewhere. Even though Tolkien is considered the father of fantasy, but let's go back to Chaucer. Let's go back to the Canterbury Tales, the story of Arthur and the Round Table. I mean, all these things are all like prototypical genre types that are beyond and before any modern fantasy or urban fantasy. Yeah, and again, Lord of the Rings was a Harry Potter knockoff. Right. Yeah. Very different in scope. Merlin. So was there a wizard before Merlin, or is Merlin considered the first real wizard within the mythos of our consciousness? Really? Because every wizard can be traced back to Merlin somehow. At least to the prototype or the type of wizard, almost everyone can be traced back to Merlin. And then by default, there has to be some sort of Arthur figure, right? Because Merlin and Arthur, you can't have one without the other. Then you need the Round Table, and you need the Knights of the Round Table. Then you also need Mordred, and you need the Morrigan, or, so all these things are connected. And that was the first kind of telling. But then if you go back even further to the mythos of gods and go back to Celtic mythology and all these stories and characters that have endured, because I'm still writing about the Morrigan, and when did she first appear in the consciousness of people? And so these things have endured time, and the Tuatha De Danann and all this stuff. So if you go way, way, way back, like to Homer and the Iliad and the Odyssey, back to the ancient Greeks, who claims to be the first? That's the thing. You're gonna go back. You have to go back so far. So when you get readers that say, "Oh, you're trying to steal my character," or you're not original, and no one can claim to be original in these days. Really, you can't. Let's see. Robert says, "I have to update my author photo on the author updates. It makes me look old." No, I don't. That's not old, Robert. That's experience, right? Distinguished is what we want to call it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I will, Davina. I'll get accused because I'm using Hades. I haven't even used Poseidon or Zeus yet. But just because I'm using Hades, I'm sure someone will say, this is a Percy Jackson knockoff. I'm like, okay, sure. Actually, Alyssa, yes, I have seen the Lost Girl TV show way back when it first started. And I believe that's the one about the succubus and dealing with incubus. And I thought it was a really, really good show. It was really well written and developed the story really well. I haven't followed it for years, but the episode, I think I followed like one season, I think, of it, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. Yes, it was really good. And how she started to discover her powers. And it's excellent that they made her a succubus, which is kind of rare because it's kind of a taboo subject because she's a succubus, you know? Or the staff of Ra. Right, now, if we're going to go into Egyptian mythology, Dan, we're going to go back thousands of years if we're going to bring in the Egyptian gods into things. And then who's to say who was the original there? So basically what I wanted to point out to the mob, especially to what we call the aspiring writers, which I hate that title, you're a writer, right? But to the writers in the group is that you have to develop the ability to take any kind of criticism and still roll with it and still create. Because people will derail you. They'll derail you because they don't think you're writing as you should be writing according to them. And if you have to be your biggest reader, or you want to say, I don't like the term, but your biggest fan. Because you have to believe in you before anyone else reads your story. Before anyone else believes in you, you have to believe in you. And a lot of writers in the beginning get this, what is it? You have fear of success. What if I write it and it takes off? Oh my God, how do I keep up with this now? You have fear of failure. What if I write this and no one likes it? Which is very unlikely. There's always you have a tribe. You just got to find them, Robert says the clean-shaven one where you look surprised and leaning back. I know which one it is, Robert. I kind of leave that in there because it makes me look distinguished. Yeah, there you go. Wisdom, wise. So the writers, and I only say this from experience because a lot of writers that I've spoken to have these fears. and they're disguised in, I don't want to say excuses, but reasons, right? I don't have time. What I write isn't that good. I can tell you, you will never have time to write. That's like anything, any creative person. You will never have time to create the creative thing you want to create. You have to make the time. That's just the way it is. I don't like what I'm writing. It's crap what I write. Yeah, because when you start out, like right now, if I read The Spiritual Warriors, which is the first book that really got out there, I can't read it because what I want to do is just edit the heck out of it. I just want to take it apart and fix it. So I don't read it. But I know that if I read it, I would want to go back and say, I need this to be fixed. I can't do that. And so, but I also recognize that that's where I started. So someone who starts reading The Spiritual Warriors and starts coming at me and go, oh my God, you don't know how to write. I was like, yeah, at that point, I really didn't know how to write. And so, and even now, I'm not claiming that I know how to write. I'm a little better now. I've learned a bit. And so that's the way it is, you know? You have to believe in yourself. Like Chris said, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is. And the thing is that it comes across in your writing. So if you, like I've always said, if you don't have fun while you're writing, it will show in your writing. It will show in the book. Whatever you're writing, it shows up. Stacy, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here and visiting, and do what you say you were going to do because it's needed. You know what I mean. Davina says, H.M. believes in me, but he also says I'm not evil, so I'm not convinced he knows. Maybe he doesn't know you well enough yet, Davina. That boom was how I found you. You mean the book, I hope, because I'm not creating any explosions that I think of. Nope, never leave it be. So, yeah, I'm never changing that. I've had readers ask me to do a revised edition of The Spiritual Warriors, and I'm like, you have no idea what you're asking. There's no way I can revise just one of 5 books. And those books, according to Dolly, has a cast of thousands. But she's right. I threw everything and the kitchen sink into that book because it was the first series that I was writing, and I just wanted to put everything into there. I've learned a little bit since then. Like, don't do that. But yeah, I can't revise that book. Yeah, but I couldn't get to where I am now without writing that. So you have to see that it's part of the process, and it's like that. You know, we have to kind of understand that as creatives. And as writers, not creating. I mean, seems to remember a lot of discussion. Yeah, but look, okay, what got destroyed in Bangers and Mash? Did anything get? I'm trying to remember now. Anything blow up or get destroyed in Bangers and Mash? What got blown up? Nothing really. Oh, the warehouse.
Oh, the warehouse.
I'm not gonna say more because Francis hasn't said. But there's not. Okay, put it like this: the ratio of explosions and destruction doesn't even come close to a Monty and Strong book. You know, so when I was writing that scene with the C4 and the ogre, all I thought about was, if you guys remember, you're old like me, Lucky Charms cereal with green clovers, and so it was kind of like that same rhythm of, you know, dancing unicorns and minotaurs, and so that's what it reminded me of. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you read. You know, and so it's interesting because not everyone comes to find me through Monty and Simon. Some have found me through, like you, Dan, Warriors of the Way, which is the Spiritual Warriors and the 5th book. Some have found me through, surprisingly, Blur, John Kane, which John, I haven't gotten back to him in so long. He's almost up there with Sepia in distance. Some have found me through Sepia. I'm sure there are a lot of Sepia readers, right? And then after Sepia, you had to have found me through Monty and Strong, because Monty and Strong interrupted Sepia. So after that, it was Monty and Strong. But then even in Monty and Strong, some had found me through Night Warden. Some have found me through the short stories. Some have found me through, Jesus, it's getting really spread out. So yeah, there's a lot to kind of find and be introduced to this world, which is the way you want to do it. I think as a writer, you don't want to write. I primarily write urban fantasy, but I haven't written romance. I don't know if I ever could. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I can introduce romantic elements, but I don't think I can ever write romance. But I haven't written horror, and I definitely could write horror. And I've written thrillers, I've written sci-fi. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, like some people found me through Blackjack, some people found me through Sheepdog, which is really surprising when they find me through Sheepdog and then they go into Monty and Strong. I think it's like culture shock. You know, like, this is nothing like what you just wrote. What the heck, you know? So, yeah. Kindle Unlimited suggestions. Alyssa, thank you. That's awesome. Blurs. I really like Blur. I just haven't had the inclination to get back into the story. You know how much research I'm going to have to do to get into Blur? Whoa, you have no idea. It's going to be like, whoa. Ava James. That's another book that, again, Malcolm, yeah, Ava James, Ava James was kind of the testing ground for Monty and Strong because it was kind of right in between Sepia Blue and Monty and Strong. So the Chronicles of the Modern Mystics, which is such a great series title. I have to get back to Ava. And All Paths Lead Here, yeah, which is really awesome. When did I publish Warriors? I want to say 2012, I think, 2012. So I've been at this almost 10 years now. Jeez, decade has gone by fast, really fast. I have written a lot of stories. I have written a lot of full-length novels, Robert, and a lot of short stories. Just kind of cranking it out, you know? And Silk will come back at some point. Don't worry, Dad. Silk will come back. Welcome back, Cindy. And thank you for being a patron. I said it earlier, but you weren't here. So thank you. Or maybe you were, but just in case you didn't hear it earlier, thank you for for joining Patreon. Oh, Monty Strong reading Nate Temple. Yeah, I read the first. So I known Shane since he started with Obsidian Sun. So that's how long I've known Shane. So there you go. Prior to writing full time, I was teaching martial arts at our family dojo. So yes. So that's what I was doing. Who asked that? I know someone asked that. Janine. So yes, Janine, that's what I was doing. I was teaching martial arts. Actually, I was writing and teaching martial arts, and then we had to close the dojo because of COVID. And so I switched to just writing. Chris, I agree. The older you get, the faster time passes. I remember when I was younger, summers would take 3 years. Like the whole time between June and September felt like an eternity. Like the days were so long. And now summers feel like a few days. Like I'm like, where did the summer go? What happened? It's very different. Yeah, it's very different. Wendy, do I miss teaching? Yeah, I do. I miss it in the sense of I enjoy the dynamic of interaction, but I'm gonna teach the little ones, and so they're not gonna have a choice, and then I'll have teaching again in my life. So, I mean, I teach daily, but not martial arts. I teach life daily, but I do miss the martial arts teaching, but I take the little ones, I take the tribe to boxing, and even while they're there, I give them pointers on what they need to do, so that's kind of teaching. And they train with world champions, so they train with my teacher, and they train with this woman who's a fantastic boxer named Heather Hardy, who's also world champion, who my teacher taught to box and kickbox. So the teaching of martial arts is still there, because even when they're there, I have them do kata, and I don't have to look at them. My teacher has to look at them. So that's even like more stress, because they're being taught by the person who taught me. So I do teaching that way, but I'm going to start doing teaching with them in just themselves. So it'll be fun. But yes, to answer that, there's a long-winded way of saying I miss teaching, but I still do it. You know? So what does Dolly do to regroup and get something? That's what we're gonna get to the questions, Scarlett. We're gonna get to them. Don't worry. Just stay here to the end, and we'll get to all the questions. Robert said, I knew you were karateka when reading the Warrior. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're not into martial arts and you read Warriors of the Way, you would be like, huh? Because there's a lot of stuff that's specific to martial arts. And there's not so much in Monty and Strong, but the fight scenes, I try to make them as realistic as possible. Yeah. Davina says, because there's a smaller percentage of your life, Ayrton is 8. So the last 2 years is a whole quarter of his life. That's huge. That is like forever for him, yeah. And he can't comprehend doing something for 10 years because that's longer than he's been. Exactly, yeah. There's no way he can wrap his head about doing something for 10 years when he's only 8. It's just beyond understanding at this point, because it's more than his life. She's like, wow, that's a long time, you know? You have to be patient, Scarlett. Yes. We still have time for questions. It's 12:25? 11:20, it's 12:25. 12:21. Got plenty of time. Oh, what kind of martial arts did I teach? I taught a version of Kyokushin Karate, more Okinawan style, and pretty much anything floor to stand-up fighting, grappling. Some jiu-jitsu involved in there. And what we call it MKD Karate was Mkekado Karate, which is basically like Kyokushin Karate, but we punched to the head. In Kyokushin Karate, you didn't punch to the head, you only kicked to the head, which I never understood, because it's more dangerous to get kicked in the head than punched in the head. So yeah, I did that for, at this point, I've been a martial artist for 35 years. It's a long time. Yeah. I try not to make, okay, so real fight scenes, if you're gonna be realistic about fight scenes in real life, now, fight scenes don't last more than 5-10 seconds. It's usually really over. It's over really quick. If you ever get jumped in your life, and hopefully this never happens to you, by the time you know you're in a fight, it's too late. You're reacting. If it happens in real life, because usually the way people fight on the street, it's never a fair fight. Someone's always trying to skew the odds in their favor, because that's the way, you know, people attack other people. So if you're not aware, by the time you know you're in a fight, it's too late. You're reacting to whatever's coming at you. Robert, take care. Have fun. I'm glad you with us for your lunch. So thank you for being here. Bangers and mash on the bus. Awesome. Let's see. Take care. Have a great weekend, Robert. Sharon, I'm glad you're here. Yes. You just got home from work. Been reading. How was it on the bus? What part are you up to, Sharon? I won't ruin it. We don't do spoilers in the Catholic Clutch. Yes, Chris, it's over quick. So what I try to do in my stories is I make the fight scenes a little longer than reality, and I try to give you an insight into what the character is dealing with. But I read fight scenes that it feels like, oh my, are they ever gonna actually fight at this point? At some point? So you can't do that either. You've got to do a little bit of both. You gotta explain a bit for those people who don't know, and then kind of make the pace go quicker. So if you're reading fight scenes, all the sentences are short and choppy because you want everything to happen quick. Boom, 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 boom. It's a different rhythm and cadence, as opposed to entering a room and you look at the wall and you see over here and you can admire this. In a fight scene, it's move here, jumped here, slid here, rolled here. It's like quick, it's fast, so it's different. So like Audrey said, I try not to make them last too long. The fight scene shouldn't last long. And like I said, in real life, a fight scene, even 20 seconds, a minute in a real fight is a lifetime. It's forever. In a real fight, the time gets really extended. So if you're doing a minute in a real fight and adrenaline is dumping and things are coming at you, and I'm not saying a fight for your life, I'm talking just a regular like sparring, you know, kind of safe fight. In a fight for your life, a minute is more than a lifetime. But let's say you're sparring, not fighting, like let's say you're in a school and you're sparring, even a minute, or like Chris says, 3 minutes, like rounds are 3 minutes, right? When we fight, 3 minutes feels like 3 years. It could easily feel like 3 years, depending on who you're facing. So yes, so it's rough. It can be rough. See, Davina says, most of a fight is limping home thinking, bugger, when did they X? I showed it to you. There's always a lot of that, yeah. There's always a lot of the analyzing afterwards. The good thing is that if you're still around to analyze afterwards, you did well, you know? So, yeah, Malcolm, it's this weird paradox of being over really fast and feeling like it takes forever. And then you get to do what Davina is just saying, is you get to analyze, I should have done this, why didn't I do this? When they did this, why didn't I do that? It happens, yeah. It's just the psychology of violence in a way. And it's like I said, if you're ever in a real fight, it's over before you know that you were in a fight. Hopefully you guys never have to encounter that kind of stuff. All right, let's get to some of the other things before we get to the questions. All right, Requiem audiobook. It's not mid-November now, right? What is it? End of October?
Mid-end.
It's the mid-end of October.
Let's say end.
Let's say end of October.
When it comes early, it's not so
And that way it'll be a nice surprise if it comes earlier than the end of October, because we're already at the 15th, so we're halfway through October already. So Requiem, the next audiobook, will be coming out. I think that's probably the last audiobook for the year right now. Yeah, so Requiem right now will be the last audiobook for the year, not the last audiobook. But for this year, it'll be the last audiobook, end of October. Plus the next book isn't written yet, so Bangers and Mashes out, so go.
But the next audiobook is next year.
Oh, the next audiobook is the Nixia White Collection. I gotta wait to see how Kevin's gonna do all those voices. That's gonna be fun. So the next audiobook is the Nixia White Collection. So for those of you that are waiting for the audiobook of Nixia, that's what it's gonna be. Yeah, that's gonna be a long one. It's like 80,000 words. So it's like huge. So Bangers and Mashes out. Go leave your reviews, please. Read it and leave your reviews, because it helps the book and it helps discovery. Okay. Nixia paperback is out already. That's awesome. Rule of the Council. I got the cover for the paperback, so I'm working on getting the paperback released. I had to change something in the description. I can't say box set 1 to 3 in the description or something. So I have to say like the Rule of the Council collection. So that's what's happening. The cover's already ready, and I have to upload everything to Amazon. I did that. They came back and said you can't have anything that says it's a box set. So I have to change that. So I did that, and now I'm waiting for Amazon again. So that's where we are. We're waiting for that part. And then Sepia Demon is going to be the next full-length novel that's coming out. It looks like end of December, Sepia Demon. So that's where we're standing right now. Dan says, also been jumped, was over extremely quickly. My training was like Orlando's, a lifetime worth. Yeah, situational awareness is key, all right? It's the best lesson. Always know what's happening around you. Don't walk around with your phone in your face or headphones in your ear. I don't know how many times I've had to say that in my life, but don't. Davina says, I've never been in a not real fight, only when it was for reals. I wouldn't go do as far as say that I want, but you got away. And that's what matters, that you got to go home. All audiobook samples on Chris announces to everyone here and on YouTube that all audiobook samples are on the YouTube channel. All right. Okay, we're gonna do the questions now. Scarlett, where are you, Scarlett? We're gonna do the questions. All right. And okay, so I'm gonna step away from the feed. I won't be able to say what you're saying unless it's over here, not over here. All right. And then, but Dolly has it over there. And I'm gonna go check out the questions, the awesome questions that you guys provided for this Café Clutch. So Audrey Sienki, I hope I'm saying that right. I hope it's Sienki. Could be Chienki. It depends. So Sienki, there you go, Scarlett. Your question, we're gonna get to your Scarlett. Yeah, we're at 1 hour exactly. Perfect. Audrey, if you could change the ending, this is a question for me. If you could change the ending of any famous movie, which would it be? Oof. I don't know. Most of the movies that I've watched, that I enjoyed, I've enjoyed the way they've ended. Is it Sienki or Chienki? Sienki like with the C, or Chienki like with a CHI?
You with the
Sienki. So I wouldn't change any ending of any famous movie, because they did what they. If I enjoyed the movie, I don't have to change it. It would be the way it needs to be. So yes, my answer would be I wouldn't change any ending. It would be leave it as is. I haven't watched a movie that I've enjoyed where I said, oh, they need to change that movie. Except for Black Widow. Black Widow's the only Marvel movie I've watched recently that I said you could have cut 30 to 45 minutes from that movie, and it would still be a good movie. And now I realize what the problem was, the timing. That movie needed to come out before the Avengers. So you had her history before she went into the Avengers. Even if they could have released it after Iron Man, when you first saw Black Widow, that would have been a better timing than now, when everyone's over the Avengers and Infinity War, and she's already dead. It makes no sense. Dolly, would you rather go back in time 100 years ahead or 100 years? Well, would you rather go back in time 100 years or ahead 100 years?
I would go ahead 100 years. No, yes,
no.
yes.
No.
That way I can see all my descendants.
I'm gonna go back 100 years and buy stock.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Then go ahead 100 years and see how everything happened. Okay, but that's Dolly's question, so I'm not answering that one. Orlando, what do you consider Robert? Yes, that Robert. Most redeeming value. The way I described him to Dolly was that he was kind of innocent. So what seems to be being oblivious is really him not looking for the darkest in things, but for looking for the kind of that silver lining in things. So like when Steven points things out to him, instead of agreeing that it's the worst thing that could happen, Robert will always come back with, but, you know, this is, you know, like when he, everybody's Francis at chapter 15. Okay, so when Steven says he threw the car, you know, did you see how he threw that car? He says, but that was, granted, it was a small car, you know, things like that. So Robert will always look to the bright side of things. So that's his most redeeming quality. He's always optimistic. Okay, Chris Mendoza question. Thank you, Audrey, for the questions, by the way. Thank you all for the questions, but I'll say it again. Will we be reading any more noir-style shorts from you in the near future? Yes. The Secret Project, TSP, is very noirish. So that's what's being worked on, even as I'm working on Sepia Demon. So that's a very, very noir-style story. So that's coming soon. TM, soon. Yeah. What is Chris saying? Have you seen Dark, A Closed Time Loop? Oh my God, I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it though, but I haven't seen it. Malcolm's questions. Thank you for the question, Chris. The answer is yes, and soon. Malcolm's question is, which book had the most profound impact on you? Every urban fantasy that I read, in terms of becoming a writer in urban fantasy, even all good and bad, because it's both, have had some impact on me. Either I thought I can write as good or better than this, or there's no way I can write as good as this. That's mostly when I read like Sir Terry Pratchett. When I read his books and I go back and read them again, and I go back and read them again, when I see these excerpts, and I go, how did he even come up with this? That's usually when it's very humbling. And you're like, yeah, okay, it's going to take at least another 50 years to kind of get there. So anything by Terry Pratchett has a very profound impact on me. And I was introduced to Terry Pratchett by Dolly. So anything that I read from him has had, and then you can see the dedication of Bangers and Mash. It's like you can be intelligent and humorous, because Terry was both. Sir Terry was both. Which authors would you buy without knowing anything about the book, if any? Jasper Ford, Jim Butcher. I love Dresden. Let's see. Most of my TBR is authors that I've bought. All the indie authors that I know, I've bought all their books without even reading. I haven't read John Logsdon's books, but I've bought them all. So there's a lot of books I have because I don't have the time to read it, but all the indie authors I know, I've bought their books without even reading the book. So I have all of PPD. I have all the books between John and all the co-authors. I have a Brad's book, Brad Magnorella, R.L. King. So any indie author that you know that I may know, Rick Gualtieri, all these authors I know, I've bought all their books. Dolly, this is for Dolly. Malcolm's the Dolly. If you and Orlando could retire anywhere, money, etc., no issue, and kids able to visit when you want, where would you go?
We would go to an island where there are no natural catastrophes, no earthquakes,
it's not on Earth.
Yeah. Mild climate, warm during the day, beautiful beaches, and cool at night, but no mosquitoes.
Again,
and excellent food, really good food all day.
Right, all day. So we're eating
chocolate.
all day.
Well, not you, I am.
And chocolate.
Yeah, there.
That's when you find that island for me with no mosquitoes and a temperate climate and everything, and no natural disasters. Let us know, and we'll go there. Okay. So I think I like that place. That's good. Sounds like a really great place. The warriors and the Valkyries cannot answer your question because they're in school. So I will answer. I will be a de facto warrior and Valkyrie, and Dolly will be the de facto Valkyrie. Has your dad's deviousness with plot twists ever impacted your lives? How he's gone about embarrassing you? No, I would never, ever embarrass the kids.
Oh, we taught them sarcasm.
Yeah, we taught them snark. They know snark really well.
Very early on.
Yeah, from very young, they mastered the snark for sure.
They're very good at it.
They're excellent. Oh man, they have comebacks. They're quick comebacks. They're sharp. sharp. All right, Scarlett, your question for Dolly. As you are the most vital part of keeping things moving, going, and working, what do you do to decompress? How do you arrange your me time? Take it away.
Hey, Scarlett, I gave quite a bit of thought since you were so, excited and patient. Well, I drive a lot every day.
We both do, but you drive more.
The kids here and there. So while I'm chauffeuring, I listen to audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I have certain YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, parenting, motivation, lifestyle, and music. So my decompressing time is while I'm driving. And lately I've started writing morning pages. Julia Cameron's concept, idea, practice that she proposed. I don't write it often enough, but when I do, it helps. And I do what a lot of mothers do. I hide out in the bathroom occasionally. It works. I don't know if dads do it, but I know moms do.
Dads don't hide out in the bathroom. Because when we hide out in the bathroom, it's, I need the bathroom. So, okay. That's good. Great answer. Thank you. Thank you, Scarlett, for that question. That was awesome. Alyssa asks, will Frank get his own story at some point? Ooh, no. I don't think he'll get his own Frank solo story. But he has the Brew and Chew, which I have to get back into. And he's always in the Night Warden stories. And as you can see, he's in the B&M story. So he'll be making cameos. And there's still a kind of a meet-off between Frank and Simon that has to happen. So you'll see him all over the place. But I don't think he'll ever get his own story. And also, Alyssa asks, any plans for more Bangs and Mash? Yes, I have the leader of the BAM and the leader of the NAC lives with me. So you'll be seeing...
Ava James.
And Ava James. So you'll be seeing more of all those stories, for sure. Yes. Awesome story, awesome questions, guys. Thank you so much for asking. Let's see, we're almost...
Janine asked,
what did Janine ask?
do the kids read the books?
Out of the younger three, only Ray, the warrior, reads them. The other two, the girls, the Valkyries, do not yet read them, but they've mastered the snark that's in them. So they might have picked it up by osmosis, for sure. Yeah. Yes, Malcolm, dads hide out in the garage shed. Exactly. Oh, see, Davina, that's the generational curse that we all get as children. Like Davina says, my mom says when she was a teenager, her mother said, I hope when you have kids, you have 3 like you. Every parent passes on that generational blessing to their kids. I hope you have children just like you. It never fails. At some point, it gets fulfilled. So Malcolm says that's one of the reasons I don't have kids. Yeah, you don't want to go through that, huh? Well, yeah, but see, that if Ayrton is questioning things and thinking for himself and being independent, that's a direct result of what you've done with him. So that's good. It's good. You want him to be like that. Oh, Scarlett wants to know, how did they acquire the dispatch? So what Scarlett's referring to is Lucille in Bangers and Mash. You're gonna have to wait for the next story so you can get more of how did Robert and Steven actually get together to be a team? How did they get Lucille? All that stuff gets developed. It's very much Monty and Strong like that. So you find that out as you keep reading, as their stories keep developing, Whereas Francis, August, Valenzuela is like my dad. They nag me in tandem. There you go. It happens. But that's good. You kind of want that, I know that when my kids get older, I want them to have kids just like them. And I'll be saying that with a smile. I hope you have children just like you.
Well, they're awesome, so that's a good
Exactly, they're awesome. So yeah, see? So just like them. All right, so we're almost done. Do we have anything else? I think we've covered everything. All right, guys, listen. Go read Bangers and Mash. Leave your reviews. I'm gonna nudge you I nudge you guys until we get to 50 reviews, and then I kind of leave you alone. So leave your reviews, and I'll be putting up posts on the mob every so often. Thank you guys for being here today. Dan says, thank you, Orlando Scribe Sensei and Empress Dolly. I see, you have a title now. The Hidden Hand of Power and All the Mob, for another awesome hand. Thank you, Dan, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us, Senor Awesome. Yeah, Chris says, I say that all the time since they do not have kids yet, but when they do, it should be just like them. Cindy, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a patron. Cindy and Maureen, but I think Maureen's not here, but Cindy, you're here, so thank you again for being a patron. You guys have a great weekend. And okay, so, just a quick note. I may not be going to 20 Books 50K for various reasons, but a lot of it has to do with the pandemic that we're still in the middle of. And I just kind of want to be, safe. And Dolly knows it's hard enough to get me out of the house in the neighborhood.
And away from me.
And away from Dolly. It's like, that's like pulling teeth. So I may not be at 20 Books 50K. I'm really leaning towards not going because just for a lot of reasons. But go get your vaccines if you can. Booster shots if you need them. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Keep your social distance. You know the deal. All the stuff that keeps you safe. Vegas, for me right now, from what I've read, they're going to be indoors. I think they have masks. They have to wear masks indoors, but they don't have to be vaccinated. Big red flag for me. Big red flag, because I have Dolly's parents are visiting for a few months. They're elderly. If I come back with something, they are the prime candidates for getting sick. That's not something I can even entertain, Plus, the youngest Valkyrie is too young to be vaccinated. So, again, we have kept a very safe environment here at home for her to be safe. So, for me to go to Vegas, and as much as I really love all those people there, and I want to see them, I'd rather do it in a safe environment. And for me, it doesn't feel safe right now. So, and that's my personal choice. I mean, if you guys want to do what you want to do, and just be safe about it. I don't want to hear any of you guys getting sick because you did something that you could have prevented. So be safe. Yeah, I don't want to do another. I had COVID. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want anyone else to go through that again. And the other issue with, and this is not a knock against Vegas, but the other issues with Vegas is that all the hotels are casinos, and they allow smoking. And I don't like being in environments where when you walk through the lobbies, because the casinos are usually in the lobbies, although I don't know the layout of this hotel, but when you walk through the lobby, wow, I didn't grow up in a household where there was smoking, so I get hit with that wall of cigarette smoke, and it's like, whoa. And then I end up smelling like cigarette smoke, and it's like, ugh. So I don't smoke. I don't knock anyone who does. I mean, it's your life, and you want to, that's something you wanted to do. But I don't want to be in an environment where I have to deal with that and the possibility of getting COVID pass. So there's a good chance I will not be at 20 Books 50K this year. And so, hopefully next year, the world will be in a different place in terms of the pandemic, and we'll be in a safer place, and we can do that then. If not, again, I'm just reluctant. Listen, in that sense, I'm very much a typical writer. I don't even want to go outside the house to walk the dog. So going across the country, pass. So that's just me, but I'm just giving you guys an update. Listen, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so awesome. I'll go read Bangers and Mash. Every time I say B&M, I'm thinking bowel movement. I gotta
think BAM.
BAM. B&M is like BAM. So go read BAM. And I know, Paige, it is sad that we have to keep saying maybe next year, but maybe next year we will be able to get together and, spend time. So have a great weekend, guys, and stay safe and be uncommon. Bye.